Good morning. Happy Tuesday. How's everyone doing this morning? If there's anybody here, I haven't actually looked. Oh, Copper just decided to welcome us this morning with a big candle, big green candle. Let's see what it does. Still trying to figure out why all these things start showing up on the right side of my thing. I can't see the timer. There's the timer. Still 2 minutes to go on this candle. Guess I should unmute this. Let's see. Trying to see whether or not I can hear me. There we go. Yeah. There we go. So I can hear myself. So that must mean everybody else can as well. Let me get that screen up that I need. That's not the screen. Oops, that's the screen over here. There we go. Hello, Kiss Me 555. How are you today? So, checking overnight. We went up big yesterday on the markets, Nasdaq and the S&P, and then we slowly grinded down to below where the New York Open was. Kept going down last night and kind of ranged for a while. It is now going upwards. We're hitting new highs of the day here. And that's what it seems like most of this. The S&P, the Nasdaq, the Russell, though the Russell's not as severe. I'm not sure what word I want to use there. Copper, you can see copper here. Basically went down until about 1 a.m. Then completely reversed course and made back all its gains and went even higher. So, but here it's really being, I'm not sure what it's doing right now. What caused this little huge up, huge down, back up thing. So we're kind of sideways before that. So it's interesting. Crude oil. Kind of, it grinded upwards and gave it all back, and now it's back and setting new highs of the day as well. Remember, yesterday we hit a high on crude oil that we have not seen since 2014. So 7 years since we've been this high, up in the 80, 82 range, 81 range. So there's not many resistance areas. I mean, just the ones that have been formed in the last day or so, because you don't go back 7 years to look at resistance and support. So I'll mark these off. Because if crude's going to try and push higher, these are going to be your resistance points, the areas that, yesterday's high of the day, and then, came down, tried to come back up, exhausted here, did the same thing here, kept getting lower highs. So those are your resistance points as we go up here. Oops. Um, Natural gas. Kind of rangy when you compare the day before. I mean, this is the range from today's action so since open compared to yesterday. You can see it dropped huge yesterday morning around 8 a.m. Eastern. This was a $3,000, $4,000 drop. So it's trending downward now. NQ sell sign on the sell signal on the 2 minute. Keep an eye on that. Bond market also starting to sell off. Been a fun trade to take here to see whether I'm not sure this is going to be a sustained sell. You can see here how this has been in an uptrend, and usually big candles down through an uptrending SMA line often result in just basically a delayed bounce off the SMA and back up. You can see this here actually on copper. Last night, I haven't, you know, these are my mark-offs from what trades I would have taken. And right here, this failure here, I would never have taken this trade, but I marked it off as a loss anyway. You had this long downtrending trend. Hey, it's early. Give me a little break. And then you had this, red candle popping up here. Let me just move that so it's not in a way. This red candle popping up. I'm sorry. This, pullback here. I'm sorry. This pullback here. It about sends a buy signal. But honestly, there was no way that was going to continue going up. You had bands trending down. You had the SMA trending down. I'm not saying it couldn't have blown up. It probably happens maybe every very rarely now and then. But for the most part, these bands and these moving averages don't take a 90-degree turn. This was never going to blow up that way and start an uptrend. You know, so I knew this was going to be a failure. I marked it off because of the signal, but I would never have taken that trade. Let's see, and now if I had gotten that signal maybe here as a buy, now of course it continued down. But if this had been a buy signal here, once things flattened out, then yeah. But here, no. So looks like maybe might have this move on copper might have exhausted at this level. Might consolidate now. Things have been a bit quieter, so far this week. This week's only been one day, but well, 1.5. But compared to last week, of course, we had non-farm payrolls on Friday, which sent things wild. But definitely still a lot of opportunity in the market. copper with some sort of signal. We got a sell in the 2 minute on copper, and I've been following the 2 minute on copper on this chart because I think the 2 minutes giving me better signals. Now you can see here along this whole uptrend. This uptrend here started here on this buy signal. That's at 430.35, and I mean I guess you could say the uptrend completed here so far at 436.60. So that's a $1,250 run. I've seen more dramatic runs, but that's a nice trending, nice quick move. So how would we have gotten back in? Like say we hit our profit target and just it got out or whatever. Or we weren't online when this trend started. How could we have gotten into this trade? Well, this pullback here would have been a good entry. Almost a bounce off the SMA. It didn't really touch, but that been a good, once you had this green candle form here and, move upwards, you could have got in on this candle. Here it came back to the SMA and it ranged for about 45 minutes and then started moving up. So, I mean, you would have caught the tail end of this move, but I mean, it's still, 40 ticks of movement in that tail end. For me, I could have went down to the 1 minute chart, as you see here, and you see here, this is that one I put on, so we could test out all these different buys on the 1 minute chart. That one worked. That one. That one works. And let's see. I have a feeling this one's not going to work, but let's see. Oh, yep, that one worked. So I went with 3 more entries just by using the bot signals on the 1 minute chart. Now, I won't actually count those since I use a 2 minute chart, but that's another way we could have used the bot to get in if you want to look at using the bot. Okay, we just got a bunch of signals, so let's see what's signaling us. NQES. They're giving sell signals on the 2 minute. Yeah, Bollinger Band is still trending upwards, so this is going to have to push them at least flat before we take it serious. Plus, they're still above their SMAs on the 5 minute charts. Gold also pulling back. Again, I'm looking a lot at these 2 minute charts to start seeing whether or not they get better entries. I've been noticing that they have been, that the 5 minute gives me later entries. So I been doing that analysis with copper. So let's see. A little bit quieter. Oh, gold actually did send us a sell signal on the 5 minute. That must have just popped in right before the ending of that last, but we're right at the SMA line. So I want to see this break first, especially since we have a strong trending upwards momentum on the SMA. It's already bounced off the SMA once here. I mean, it dipped down below it, but came right back up on this uptrend. Did before this, started pulling back, we did see a new high of the day. So these yellow lines indicate highs and lows of the day. So we're gonna mark off our support and resistance here. And of course, the most obvious support, I mean, the most, yeah, support is here. More market here. And let's see if there's anything else obvious here. Of course, down here, but we're far away from that yet. This move, since it started, which would have been started right about here, this is where it hit bottom earlier. And, we've come back up from here, 80 ticks. So that's, 4 hours, 3 hours, I'm sorry, for $800 if you endure this pullback, or if you're just from this buy signal here on the 5. Some would have been good, I think. 60.5 up to here's. That's pullback would have been hard to sit through, but if you would have, gotten $500. You see, do have this bouncing off the SMA. So my guess is it's going to continue upwards, but we'll see. Crude, natural gas, excuse me. So now you see the Nasdaq. Nasdaq sent a sell signal on its 2-minute, as did the S&P. S&P's down 8 ticks since it did. Nasdaq's down almost 7 points. There's the sell signal on the Nasdaq. We are got 2 minutes to this candle closes. It's hugging the SMA line. It has pierced it. Right now it's below it. If it stays below it, we'll take a micro on this. I'm not a big Nasdaq fan, just because of how fast it normally moves. Although right now it's really not moving that fast. So if it seems like it's going to get down through that band and stay there, we'll take a micro or two on it. Copper gave us a sell. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not. I'm not sure how I did that. There. Still watching the 2 minute on copper. And if you look on this 2 minute on copper, this big rise up. This is a perfect reversal candle. Pierced the three standard deviation Bollinger Band here, and came back down. That still finished green, but this was indication of a reversal of selling pressure. And this would have been actually right here. This candle would have been good to get in, and then we could have wrote this down for 7, 8 ticks. We have rode down from the wick. Obviously you can't catch the exact highs, but could have got a full 20 ticks out of it. Still kind of just Yep, it's now balancing and kind of trying to bounce back up off that SMA line. Yeah, most days pre-market NQ is relatively tame. Most days. There's some days that's still very much a roller coaster, but pre-market's usually nothing compared to after the New York Open. Good morning, DWT. How are you today? Good to hear. Treasuries bounced off their SMA. Remember I said I wouldn't take that trade? It has come back up, and it's still trying to push down. Haven't really looked at overnight treasuries. Oh, I don't even have, I really don't have, what was that line? Line's not attached to anything. That's interesting. Don't know what any of these lines are for. So we'll get rid of them. But nope, I don't have any yellow lines for tops and bottoms on here. I need to fix that. Boom. 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 Nice range. Okay, and now we did break down on the bonds. It's gotten below the SMA. So, but I mean, even still, if we had entered here, we would have had to endure a 7-point pullback, which is no bueno on the Treasury. That's that 31.25 a tick. Would have stopped me out because I run a I want a 5 tick stop loss, and now it's trying. But we have bands that are starting to squeeze together, upward trending bands. So I right now I'm not expecting this to continue much downward movement. We'll see. Okay, gold. I wasn't paying attention, but it did break the SMA. This would have been the candle I would have wanted to get in on. This candle did finish below the SMA, so this is the candle. 650. So we'll mark that off. See if it reaches what would have been our profit goal. Now again, like I said, it seems like the 2-minute is giving me better signals. If we go here, if we take this here and put it here, we're already at the profit target. So I'm really starting to look at that 2-minute chart more. We'll put it there and see what it does. Oil curling down to an uptrending SMA line. Farm that stuff, not doing anything. Farm basically, I mean, downtrend, but mostly rangy. And corn is barcoded. Complete barcoding on corn. Russell, sideways. Decent uptrend here, but mostly sideways. So here we have gold trying to push back up. It's possible. I always forget to turn off the notifications for Discord. And then they're showing up in the bottom of my screen because Windows doesn't allow you to move where your notifications show up, which is ridiculous. We still have this downtrend. Now, again, let's look at the 2 minute here. On the NQ, I would at this time of day I would have done a 10 by 15, and I got to get better at like just not using generic profit target and stop losses. This seems to work for now, at least. So we would be 4 points in the profits, and nothing to write home about there. Even based on the 2 minute, 5 minute bounce, just kind of riding the SMA line. The SMA line isn't. I mean, it's uptrending, but not steeply. Not like back here. I need a better cursor, something that shows what I'm doing more. Copper. Now, it's interesting. Like I said, I'm following the 2 minute, trying to check, oh, that's a 1 minute. No wonder. 1 minute would be good. And I mean, we got the buy signal here on this huge candle, and then we had to deal with this huge pullback, which would have stopped me out if I had gotten in. And I wouldn't have never gotten in on that trade because of the massive band break. But as you can see, it's actually, I mean, was a good call. 'Cause this is a win right here, probably. Now we could have got back in. Here once it came down and then came back up and got above the SMA line. I don't know why I activated that line, but let's do it to get rid of it. It's, that wasn't a very strong candle here to get in on, but this was decent. So we can mark it off there, as that could have been a good entry point here. And we would already be at profit. If you wanted to wait for one more strong candle, then you could have gotten in here. You would have went so far, you would have went up to 75% before this little pullback. We'll see whether or not that reaches goal. All these hypotheticals are wonderful, but I'd love to actually take a real trade. So gold, yeah, crude, black gold, has pierced the SMA, but we have an uptrending SMA. So as you can see, I mean, an uptrending SMA doesn't necessarily mean that it can't come back. There's plenty of room between the bands, because we saw it back here. Came down, it came down through the bands, it reversed some first, and then came down, and we had this uptrending SMA, but it soon started downtrending again. So it can definitely, an uptrending SMA doesn't always mean that you're not going to continue the uptrend. Or I think I said that backwards. An uptrending SMA doesn't always mean that you're not going to start going back down. This would have been a very nice 700 point, sorry, 70 tick move, $700. Okay, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Natural gas just made new lows. Natural gas was on a sell signal from way back here. That would have been a good one. Looks like. So I've been using the 2 minute for natural gas. So, and I've actually been using 40/20. So we'll see whether or not. Oh, wow. Natural gas is just free falling. Oh, we would have got stopped out in that one move back up. Still working on finding a happy medium on natural gas. Gold signal. See, we have that break, and now Gold's moving back up. So this looks like getting on the 2 minute would have been perfect. But getting in on off the 5 minute chart here, seems like this is going to want to trend back up. Seems like it's curling right back up to trying to continue its uptrend, just like it did down here. Crude's giving us a sell. It has broken the SMA. All these, not sure what setting I turned on to make all these numbers show up, but I gotta make that go away. 3 minutes on this candle. So there's our profit target. Oh wait, yeah, there's our profit target if we had waited for that good green can, good strong green candle before entering in. So either way, no matter how you would have re-entered this, unless you had waited for this resistance, this point here where it topped out. But right now, copper's looking pretty strong. Just since I've been awake, it's given two bad signals into the bands. Excuse me, into the bands. So right now, crude's looking best for a possible entry. I'm down $101 on the day. Gold trade last night didn't work out. Now the crude's pulling back. Green candle here on the 2 minute. Natural gas pulled back after hitting its low of the day. Broke the bands on both the 5 and the 2 and then pulled back. Copper's now new highs of the day as it continues its move upwards. So it looks like, if we go back to yesterday, now we're starting to near highs of yesterday. We're only about, looks like about a 24 ticks away or so. It kind of double topped here before it gave out yesterday. So that's levels we want to watch. Basically, more so the wick. Let's bring it down some, right to there. That's basically the tops. So, and right now we're exactly 20 ticks away from there. So I'll definitely watch that as a resistance point, where I expect maybe we'll struggle to get, if we get through there, struggle to get through this light line, then it probably comes back down some. But if it bursts through, maybe at the open or before, that might be a good entry. Now, gold is kind of sideways now. We would still be in this trade if we had entered. Crude did give us a sell signal, but look at this candle. That's a reversal candle. So I would not be comfortable getting in on that trade. This trade on the 2 minute on the Nasdaq would now not be in profit. So there, the 2 minute wouldn't have worked. Same thing on the S&P. NQ trying to push back up. Technically, this would be an entry signal. We're already on a buy on the Nasdaq. It's the last signal on the 5 minute. Now it's sending one on the 2 minute. The only concern is that we've been kind of sideways now for an hour or so, an hour and a half. We have bands that are kind of squeezing towards, so we don't have a lot of upward room to move. We can take a micro on it, try and get a few bucks if I can find my chart. There it is. S&P is giving us the same. So here's NQ. Oops. I got starting to get all my charts to look the same. So here we actually 2 minute chart has formed a new candle. Watch this. I want to wait until it's back green, and we'll buy just one micro because I don't feel like messing too much with NQ this morning. We are at 7, so we're in our 30-20 range. Okay, we'll buy there and see what happens. After 8 a.m., I set my profit target on NQ to be 30 points and my stop loss at 20 points. But I still manage to trade if I see where it's not playing well with others, then I will get out. Oh, big pullback already. Was kind of hugging that SMA line on the 5 minute. You can see the SMA line here. We are, that candle did finish above that SMA line on the 5 minute chart. So that's a good sign, hopefully. See if it can continue its upward momentum. You can see here, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but it shows how much I'm down. So this is only 1 micro, so I'm only down $5.50. Pushing up. Obviously, I'd like to see it come back about up to, curl back up to where it was. But bands are starting to come down some, so we'll see. Nothing else really going on. We can see that on the 2-minute chart, we're seeing red candles. NG, we'll check that while this is going on. Okay, so that signal in crude would have been good. Bummer. Let's mark that off. There's no way, I mean, right here, if I were watching it, this would have been a good indication maybe to get in. But we are still coming down into the bands. So, we'll mark it off. It's 80.81. Oh, wow, you hit it perfectly. 30 by 20. Now we're 22 ticks in the profit, would be 22 ticks in the profit here. See NQs continuing to pull back now. It's pulled back by 7, like 6.5, 7 points. Oh, there we go. That crude would have reached profit target in a matter of 10 minutes. So, I mean, sometimes signals don't look good, but they are good. This, went 30 ticks, even though this looked like more like a reversal candle. So, I don't blindly follow the bot, but sometimes I should probably blindly follow the bot. No, I mean, you're not going to get every trade. So, this one here looks good as well. We'll mark that one off while we wait for something good to happen. 80.77 at what time? 5:45. Boom. 80.77 I said. Boom, boom, boom. 20. 15. Ah, jumped up on me. NG just sent a buy signal on the 2-minute. I'm still playing with NG. I really like its price movement, but I'm still sim trading it. So let's sim trade it. Sim, 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 sim. There we go. To a 60 by 40. If that buy holds, it doesn't look like it's holding. We are still in our MNQ trade here. And actually, okay, why is this? We're actually now in profit on our MNQ trade. So it's pushed back up about 1.5 points. Move this over here so we can see what natural gas is doing. Trying to push through the SMA. You can see it down here on this side of the screen. Now, like I said, I have a 30-point profit target on MNQ right now, and that's not probably going to happen. If this moves up to probably right around here, the bands area, which would be 9 or 10 points, I'll probably cut it because you know, 30 points is way. We're in at 45, so it's way up here. That'd be a heck of a move. That might happen at the Open, but I don't usually play the Open. Now again, you know, the bot's messing with me. You see, it did send a buy signal on natural gas over here on the right, but it's immediately pulling back. We'll see again whether or not this would have been something to get into. Looks like it might have been. We'll see. Let me move this off screen for a second while I check on some other things. Copper. Oh yeah, copper just blew through its high today. We marked off. We marked off resistance points, and it didn't quite get to that resistance from that I marked off from yesterday, but it got close. Broke the bands, pulled back. Move this yellow line up to there. That's our new high of the day. Gold is curling up. Bonds are sideways. So we continue to watch our NQ trade, which is now 750 in the profit, $7.50. We show 750, but you know, which is about three points. There we go. It's going. That's nice. Nice big move up. And we're about at the level that this Bollinger Band's at. So this is where we're going to start watching to see whether or not it can, you know, go strong through that, or if this is where it's going to pull back. Previous high was here. Let's see. Drawing tool line there. So it's a little bit off there. So we'll see whether or not I can get back up to that previous high. That seems to be trying to reject. We'll give it room. It's a micro. It's not like we're losing or gaining much. This is why I hate, you know, I need to just start taking regular, because this will be up $120 right now instead of $12. But I wouldn't be as, you know, let's see what it does. It would say, I hit this area and let's close it out. It's probably what you should be doing in a gauntlet anyway. Maybe I would be already past in a gauntlet. Okay, so we have signals here. Gold, gold, natural gas. Natural gas did give us a nice start, nice move up. We'll mark that off. Then gold. So you bounced off the Bollinger Bands, heading back upwards. Looks like this might be another pullback like this one was. We'll see. Could be going into a squeeze as well. Entering that trade would have stopped us out. Russell's starting to show some movement upwards as well. Back to our MNQ trade. Has pulled back some on this candle, on this new 5-minute candle. But now it's heading back upwards. We have the bands curling just a bit upwards now because of this upward momentum. So we'll see how far we can go. Right now we are 7 ticks or so in profit. I'm sorry, points. Points, not ticks, points. There we go. That's a nice strong attempt at least. Yep, now we're 24 in the profit, $24. Again, if I had going the regular size contract, that'd be $240. But we're not gonna complain. There we go. Big move through that previous high. We're now hovering about $30 in the profit, and we're getting close to those Bollinger Bands. So I'm also getting close to my finger on the trigger here to close this trade. See whether or not it continues to move up. This is about 18 points in the profit. It's continuing to show strength. My stop loss just moved up it by itself. Based on my trade management, when I reaches 20 points in the profit, it moves to 5 points in the profit. $40 on this trade. This is supposed to be a $400 trade if we were in one regular. Continues to push up. It's above the Bollinger Band, so I don't know how long I expect this to continue extending upwards. Oh, there's the pullback. And we'll close it out there. That ended up being exactly 16 points. So on a regular size contract, been $320. Now we can watch to see whether or not I ended up pulling that early or not. You can see that each of the indices, the Russell, the Nasdaq, and the S&P have all made new highs of the day. And honestly, it does look like this could continue upwards now because this is pushing the bands up. So we'll see. Maybe I could have went for the full 30. But honestly, I mean, that would have been a great trade either way, if I had not used a micro. Even with using a micro. Yeah, here it goes. It continues to move upwards. We'll kind of watch it here since there's nothing else going on. Let's see what's over here. Yep. See, that's natural gas, you know, pushed up here and then pulled back majorly. Not enough to stop us out yet, but see. So crude still pushing down. So that was a big mistake on my part. Nasdaq continuing up its upward momentum. Going sideways now, meeting the SMA line on copper. Close that. Now I got a sell signal. This again, this would have stopped us out, or well, close to stopping us out on natural gas. I ran natural gas stats all last week. And it would have been pretty profitable, but every time I actually try to live trade it, it doesn't like me. But I am running a 2-to-1 on it. Reward to risk. So, I could lose these two trades and still be in profit if I win the next one. Good morning to everybody that's joining me this morning. Please feel free to say hi in the chat room. Ask any questions or statements or feedback or anything like that. Listening to myself drone on and on and on starts making me fall asleep because I'm not the most interesting person in the world. Crude bounced, or I shouldn't say bounced, is trying to bounce off this reversal doji candle here. See if it does or if it continues its downward move. See, NQ has continued to move upwards. NQ would have been would have just hit my 30-point profit target. So I should have just left it alone. It's riding up that band, and that's the one place where the Bollinger Band can kind of give you I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for, just false signal, I guess, because this would have been, great to continue riding up. This might be a big momentum play at this point. I mean, it touched the band without really going through it much. This uptrend, what do we got going on copper? Copper starting to try and maybe pull back a bit here below back below its SMA. Definitely keep an eye on that. Copper's my thing. But on the NQ here, this uptrend basically started back here, uh, right around the Europe Open or London, whatever that is at that 3 a.m. And so 644 up to now 782. So it's gone up 140 points. That's $2,800. And yeah, it's just showing major strength right now. Start looking at resistance points. You see, I mean, when we say major strength, compared to yesterday, it's still nowhere near. That was our high from yesterday. Still got 120 points for there. Can throw that resistance there, and looks like we're getting into. You can see this area yesterday was congested. If we go zoom in here, this green dotted line here is where our current price is on, today. This is a yesterday point where a consolidation right at the same area, and it tried to come back up. It started coming down, tried to come back up, couldn't, kind of just, you know, went sideways for a while and then continued its push down. So, but this area, this area has congestion, has indecision, so we might see this area be a point where entities do see it has pulled back by 5 points. So this area could end up being an area you see consolidation until the open, which we're 1 hour away from. Okay, copper. Copper did send us a sell signal on the 2 minute. If we look at it closer, and maybe I need to stop doubting these and it's gone away for now, but we had this major uptrending. So, I don't know. It's probably gonna make a fool of me too. But see, I mean, every time it goes down toward the band, see here, it bounced. Let's look. Bounced. This seems to want to go up. I mean, since here, even here when it's come down to the bounce, we bounced, even when it was on the downtrend. So I don't know. Never doubt copper, but we'll see. We'll mark it off and see whether or not I need to find something to trade though. This is getting really ridiculous. Nothing's giving me signals that I like. This might have been it though. I don't know. Look at the way it's going straight down into the band. Band's not bending yet. So, I don't know. Right now this will be an 8 ticks in the profit. NQ, again, it's pulled back 12 points from that area I said could be congested from yesterday. The feeling he's had that same congestion area on S&P. No, not really. S&P's at the where it was exactly almost an hour. I mean, a day ago, 24 hours ago. S&P's congestion area was a little above where NQ's was, so I mean, I guess it is that same area. Move this up. Now a 50-point range today on the S&P. Just still pretty impressive. Gold. Wow. Well, so gold came up, would have stopped me out in this trade, and is now gone. Just free fall. So definitely been a winner. 61 down to 55, $600 so far. So you see, this is what we're looking at on gold, and sometimes these things pull back before they go, and this one definitely pulled back. It sent a signal here, and it pulled all the way back here. I would have got all these alerts keep getting in my way. I would have gotten in here or here, and then it pulled back all the way to here before finally. This was a good sell signal candle because of the high, the wick above was bigger than the body, but you know, then it finally went. It broke both the resistance points I had marked out. So those can go away for now. Some people would rest orders on those resistance points. So now, let's look at the next major resistance, be probably here, and then the low of the day. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not, it ends up giving back all of its gains for the day. Natural gas is still looking like it wants to stop us out. Oh, bonds are sideways. Russell new high for the day. NQ gave some sort of signal. We definitely have a pullback from that congested area. Now let's see if it'd be interesting to see whether or not it can hold the SMAs. It's above the SMA on both the 5 and the 2. Hey Rich, how are you doing today? So far every signal I get I don't like, and then it ends up making a fool of me. Did get a 16-point winner on the micro NASDAQ. Wish I had taken the regular mini, but you know. So again, yeah. So okay, now let's look at this. Now this went to my profit target again, and I didn't take the trade, but this signal made me conflicted. We had bands coming up to meet it, so it looked like it didn't have much room to roam. But it was definitely a selling signal candle, large above wick, small body. So I should have just took the trade. I doubt it because of the bands, but the bands quickly, usually after a big move up like this, you have a little bit of sideways action. But this just came right back down. Basically, this, almost has given back this entire move. Which, though, if you look at the big picture, this move here is just an extension of the huge move basically all night. So now it's just giving some of that back. That would have been an excellent trade to get into. And I just doubted copper, and I should never doubt copper. Why should I never doubt copper? This is why I should never doubt copper. Oops, wrong button. 1, 2, 3. And we've seen if we went to the 1 minute chart, we could have added 3 more entries. Anyway, 3 to 1, 4 1, 5 1, 5 2, 6 2, 7 2. 7 and 2 since open. If I had taken all those trades. Now some I wasn't awake for, like that one. But this is why I'm saying I just need to tell myself to take every copper trade, no matter how bad the signal looks. Because copper's now just gonna try and get back down to, let's see. This is probably the next major resistance point. Maybe here-ish, but we can mark that up here too. They're close enough together that they probably could be considered one area of resistance. So I think I just need to just take every copper trade that comes along. I probably could be sitting in a mansion by now if I just listened to copper. Yeah, I was looking at that, but I don't know. You can see that on this move downward, it hit that second band there as well. Continued down. I mean, it moved up. What happened was there, if you can look, I'll move this out of the way. And it bounced here by 3 ticks, and then this wick up, which was another like 4 ticks. So it bounced like 7 ticks up, and then came back, kept coming back down. So on a strong downtrend like this, if it just touches that third band, I don't always consider that a reversal. I mean, this has now reversed 2 ticks. Well, if you count the band, let's see, this wick down at 43495. It's now up to 43545. So we're up 11 ticks now. But it's hard to tell when you're on a downtrend like that and it's touching the band on the down. It's hard to tell when it's going to do this or if it's just going to continue going down. A band play is a good scalp play on a downtrend. If it hits the bands, oftentimes it's going to reverse some. If you want to get a couple, like try and shoot for 5 ticks or something on a bounce like this as it's going down, or for that matter, going up in an uptrend, that's a good play. But I'm not. I mean, I guess what you consider I do what. Sorry, it's still early. My mouth still isn't working. Yeah, I guess most people consider what I do scalping, but I think of scalping as when you're in and out for like 30 seconds or a couple ticks. I go in with a profit target that could take minutes or hours. This could have been its bottom. Across here. It is right at where this came down before it started moving back up. So this looks like it was. Yeah, I didn't even notice that resistance point right there. But it looks like that's where it bottomed out again. See if it continues back down while we check some other signals. Ooh, big move down on the S. Missed that while I was playing with copper. I'm sorry, that's the NASDAQ. I usually have the ES over here, but NASDAQ did the same. I mean, ES did the same. So again, I've been looking more at this 2-minute chart. And the 2-minute chart signals came here. And we would already be, if I had taken that trade. It would have came down to be almost 27 points in the profit. So we have this sell, but we do have a sell signal now on the S&P 500 that I can catch. Now we still have 4 minutes on this candle. And you know what? I'm going to be brave. I'm going to go in with a regular. If it stays here, and we continue to see this downward momentum, then we do have green candles on the 2-minute. So definitely need to continue seeing red momentum. But if I enter this trade, I'm going to enter on a regular mini. Looks like you were right, Rich. It did kind of bounce, and now it's kind of trying to move upwards on copper here. So copper's kind of indecisive right now. It's going up, it's coming back down, but it's indecisive enough with enough momentum both going both ways to make good, decent profit. Russell. Russell also has a sell. Hmm. Russell or S&P? Russell or S&P? Which one do I want? I guess I'll do the S&P. Russell hasn't. I really used to. I used to really like the Russell, but lately it hasn't been giving me the same moves it had in prior weeks. So let's find ourselves an S&P chart. Let's find ourselves an S&P chart. I said. Okay. Let's go to ES. Let's go to. I think I still haven't set up an ES. I mean, I have them set up, but not the right one. Let's see. What's this? 1611. Yeah, let's make it 1612. This time of day. How big is this candle? It's still only 2.5. That one was 2.5. Two. Yeah, I guess I can go with 4x3. Try it. See what happens. One minute till this candle closes. Kind of watching the price action down here a little bit. Do have a green candle in the 2 minute. But we've seen that going down. Green candles, small green candles, and with the big red ones. So yellow, as the Canadians say. Don't actually have a yellow. That's not a good idea. Okay, we're in. Immediately pulls back 2 ticks. Oh. Let's get this on the default template. There we go. We will zoom in. And watch the trade. This was taken on my Gauntlet account. Yep, making sure. 4 tick profit target, 3 tick stop loss. Gonna hope that continues its downward momentum. See what natural gas is doing here. Natural gas is almost stopping us out from where I would have gotten in based on that buy signal. So it's trying to push further down. And maybe this, if you're looking at the 5 minute, chart, maybe this shouldn't have gotten in on this buy, and I didn't. But saying, that may not have been the greatest idea because it was an overall larger downtrend. So right now ES is just 1, 2. It's right at break even. You could see that the profit target is sitting right on the two standard deviation Bollinger Band. That's a pretty good profit target. And the stop loss is actually right above the SMA line. Excuse me. Copper did pull back off that bounce. It was a great call by Rich there. We had gotten in off this bounce here, and on this candle, 20. That would have been a 19-point move upwards so far. We are seeing a downtrending SMA, so this might continue down. Might bounce off the SMA, but if it gets up to the SMA before bouncing, that would be a 20-tick winner there if we had taken it. So far, the ES is just kind of staying right at our entry point. See if the DOM can give us. I hate trying to watch the DOM, but on the ES, but not in here. Yes. There's the DOM. Ooh, it's moving up. Ouch. It's now 5 ticks against us. See where it goes. There's a big, decent size little wall right here, 86, 112, 75, 74, 94. So, I mean, I shouldn't say a wall, but we also have this 103.91 here on the bid. So, these can get eaten up quick. Right now we're down 2 points. We're only 1 point away from our stop loss here. Be interesting to see whether or not I should have given it more space, maybe. We'll see. Come back to that after we check out these signals. Gold. Looks like it found the bottom too about the same time copper did. Right before this resistance line I drew out earlier. Just trying to move back up. Our S&P trade's trying to move back down. So right now we're only 1 point down. Or were. I got a feeling this is going to stop us out, but we'll see. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to hit the mic. Ooh, more gold. Gold is giving us a buy signal. Coming up into an SMA that's downtrending. Has broken the SMA on the 2 minute. So we'll keep an eye on that for the next 3.5 minutes. But the S&P over here has started coming back down for us. by us, I mean me, but we're all family here. All three of us that I think are here, actually. Let's see what it does. We are just a little over half an hour away from the New York Open. I expect this trade on the ES to be done before then, but if it's not, I'll probably exit out before the Open. Although I guess there's, if it's a couple ticks from my stop, I guess there's no real hurt in holding it in the Open. Maybe it'll go the other way. But I have a feeling we're going to get stopped out before then. Seems to want to go back up. And we can see that it has been kind of, if we trend line it, I don't do trend lines much. But, I mean, it has been kind of making these slightly higher lows. So this could just be part of this whole pattern, up, down, up, down. This could be the next, heading to the next leg up. We're 3 ticks away from the stop out. 2. It's teasing us. Morning, Jay. How are you? Or afternoon, or whatever time it is where you're at. How you doing? I'm just trying to get stopped out here on the S&P. It's teasing me. There we go. There we go. There's our stop out. $150 loss. Gold. Still sending that buy signal. We have 2 major issues. One, we're right at the 200 EMA, and we have a downtrending SMA. So I'm not trusting that. Copper. Copper hit the SMA and then wow, whoosh down and back up. It's a pretty interesting move there. That was so candle opened at 43,605 and moved all the way down to 40. Wow, this is a 25 tick down move and right back up to a green candle. It's interesting. Right at the 9 o'clock hour. That was an interesting. That could have been a stop run, as they call them. I was trying to stop people out and then buying up cheap ones and then moving back up. Now look at this strong move upwards. We have a buy signal on the 2-minute. Let's look at our resistance points here, quick. It really, I mean, we have the high of the day. It really isn't anything majors. I mean, you have this wick here, but that's near the high of the day anyway. So, yeah, there's the buy signal on both the 2-minute and the 5-minute. So now we have our synergy, which is rarely seen. And I've already doubted copper today. Twice, I think. So we're gonna get in on the 2-minute. Well, now we have this pullback. We're gonna wait until. Just get in. Okay, we're filled. We're in. Normally I'll wait till that 5-minute candle closed, but I've been running off the 2-minute all night by checking. Russell. And we are 25 minutes from the open, so we'll watch this. Hour and a half. Ouch, big pullback here. Maybe I should have waited for that signal on the 5-minute. So we are above the SMA line, so hopefully. Hold. Gold sending a buy signal too. We're just gonna focus on copper. Just one trade now before the open. So there we go. We're five ticks, yeah, 5 ticks. Pulling back again. It's bobbing up and down. There we go. Remember, you really shouldn't hang on every tick, but I do for entertainment value. This is what I do for you people. No, just kidding. So yeah, this is the curl up here off this trend line, which is what stopped us out in the S&P. Looks like we're getting buy signals again in the 2-minute charts. Again, the better signal would have been on the 2-minute. We would have got good wins off the 2-minute chart versus the 5-minute chart. So let's continue to look at copper here. which I did enter based on the 2-minute chart, basically. I mean, 5 minutes giving me a signal too, but as you can see, if I was waiting for the 5-minute signal, I would still be waiting. And where 9 ticks in the profit based off the 2-minute chart, now even more as this pushes up, I would still be waiting to enter on this candle for another 3 minutes. Hold on. Which cell where? Here? Is this what you're talking about? I'm sorry. Here, I'm sorry. This here? Or are you talking about the 5-minute or 2-minute, and you talk about the most recent sell signal, Jay? I did get in on this sell signal, and I ended up stopping out. If I had gotten in on the 2-minute, I believe we would have went to profit target. Yep. Would have went way beyond profit target. Okay. 4 ticks in the profit. It's slowly trying to grind up here. Now, we're at 4.3720. Our previous high of the day is at 43785. Our profit target though would be at our profit target would be exactly at the high of the day. I reconfigured my trailing stops last night on copper, where now it doesn't start trailing until we're 75% in the profit. See, right now I would actually, my trailing stop would have moved up to break even because it reached more than 10 ticks in the profit before. Now I'm just trying to give it more room to roam, because I was noticing I was getting stopped out and then it'll go my way. Now here I might end up regretting that because it's really pulling back. We'll see. Oh, man. Ouch. Pull back. Ow. Come on. See if it can fight its way back up. That was an ouch of a pullback. Still trying to go back upwards now. I had complaints about the music. I had it on for 2 minutes and someone said, please turn it off. Okay, we're trying again. Copper's gonna try and move it up. I like the music. I think, hearing some background music, especially during, I can't be talking every second, so I thought, having a little bit of background music would be good. Ah, it is really not. There's a lot of sellers trying to come in here. Part of me says this is going to roll. Part of me says I should cut this at like $100. Then we'll keep it up. We'll keep going. Maybe I'd need a different genre of music because I just went with kind of soft background stuff. Maybe I should bring in some hip hop. When I get my copper riches, I'll hire a DJ. There we go. Bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yay, Ox is in the house. So this is one of those trades that just grates on your nerves. It just grinds up and down, up and down, up and down, yo 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 yo. Well, because um, yeah, the what I was finding, you know, copper was going like 75% of the way to my profit target, and then it would pull back, hit my trailing stop, and then go the rest of the way. So like two trades last week, I was moving my stop up to like break even when it hit 60%, and then it would trail. Every two ticks it would move up two ticks. See, it just moved up to uh, my entry point. But so I ended up stopping out my trailing stop for a $75 win and a $50 win when both of those would have went to 250 my $250 profit target. So instead of having a $500 in profit, I had $125. And I was finding that that was happening a bunch. So I'm not trailing it as tight anymore. My stats say that copper goes to its profit target like between 63 and 65% of the time based on my entries. So I'm trying to just let it roll because when I'm figuring out, my entries, I'm going back on TradingView and plotting out the trades I would have taken. I don't figure. See, now we just got to our profit target. So now I'm trailing by 5 ticks. So right now I'm guaranteed at the very least $186, or I mean maybe slippage 175, but hopefully it's going to continue going up. See, there it's continuing to go up. There we go. There we go. Watch this, baby. Watch this. This is awesome. Continue. Come on. We've broken the daily highs. Continuing. We're still trailing by 5 ticks. This is a great trade. There we go. Okay, we just stopped out. It went above and then pulled back. Let's see what we got. I'm not even sure what the profit on that was, but that was exciting. Sorry, Nightbot gets a little upset about a whole. Let's see here. So that trade, we went. There's an easier way to tell me this, but we would have went almost 40 ticks minus 8. So 32 ticks, 32 times 1250. $400? Really? Let me check that. Because I was down something before. Counts? No, that's not right. Oh wait, maybe it is. How much was I down before? That's right, I forgot. I was down on an ES trade too. So yeah, that was a $400. That was a $400 trade. It lasted 12 minutes and 2 seconds. Um, it kept going. $400. My trail and my stop. I trailed my stop by 5 ticks once it hit the original profit target. Let me bring the chart back up. So yeah, now it's kept going. So I mean, but I can't trail it by too much more, or else I would end up, giving away too much if it kept backing up. But yeah, we got out at 43, 438.45. It's of course gone up another $250 since, but it's well into the Bollinger Band, so I'm expecting a pullback, and I'm happy with this trade. So yeah, that's quite the movement right there. Yeah, it's like I said, we're in that third band, so I'm thinking it's. I mean, it's broke that other resistance point. I figure. Let's see where the next one is. Maybe there isn't another. Thought there was. Thought I plotted something out. No, this is above yesterday's highs now. So now we're looking back. Oh wow, we are. Wow, we are above any recent highs. Daily chart. Well, by recent I mean next next resistance would be here at 441.35. So I mean, it has another 40 ticks to run up to the next resistance point, which came back on the 16th of September. I might. Um, I'll be watching, because like I kept pointing, let me go back on the 5 minute. I'm looking at this band break here. It's pushing this third band up, and it's above the third band, and it was a huge move up because it wasn't even into the bands before this candle. So I'm watching this to think that we might see a reversal candle here on the next 5 minute, which starts here. So we'll see. We do have some red here. It's pulling back. It's already pulled back by 8 ticks. So we'll see how far this pulls back. This actually could. I mean, if this is a healthy pullback, a small red candle, it could just be giving room to go further up. But I'm also, we're 10 minutes until the New York Open. So I'm not going to, I can't see myself entering any trades at this point, this time. I need 3 or 4 more trades like that last one. And you can see, this is why I'm telling myself I should never doubt copper. Because, I mean, this is on the 2 minute chart. And again, now, just based on the 2 minute chart, I would be 8-2 if I had entered all these trades since the open. I keep doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 1, 5, 5 and 1, 6 and 1, 6, 2, 7, 2, 8, 2. And this one I would have never got in because I mark it off as a loss because the bot sends a signal. But like I explained earlier, these bands don't suddenly, turn 90 degrees. Downward bands, downward SMA line. This upwards move was just a pullback. It was enough of a pullback to make the bot confused, but there was no way this was going to just start going straight up from here. So 8 and 1 since open of yesterday. But we did look at that pullback. Yep. So it did get into the bands, and I keep doing that. Let's go back over. I actually have 2 screens for copper now. So yeah, this was a now a 22 tick pullback. So that would have been a good trade to enter based on the break of the bands. But I got burned on a band break play last week and set myself back $400. So I'm a little bit shy right now of playing band reversals. But it's actually pulling back to the previous highs. We'll move up to the new high here. Be interesting to see what it does at the open. Yeah, it would have been a very good short. Very, very good short now as it's up over 30 ticks. 2-minute chart has sent a sell. Ouch. So again, we can plot that out, see whether or not this ends up being a good sell, and see whether I continue with my motto of never doubt copper. And again, as Gabe said, it would have been a good play off the Bollinger Band. And actually, I mean, Rich called off this play earlier off the Bollinger Band, which would have led into this upward trend. So both, although I still don't know what exactly happened there. Not sure what this was a major downwick. All of that just immediately reversed. It could have been a stop run. So we'll see whether or not this ends up playing out. But at the entry, Gabe is right. The entry was off this band break. That would have got a nice, it's a 31-point candle. So let's see what the indices are doing. The indices are kind of U-shaped sideways, kind of sine wave type activity as we head into the open. While I was playing with copper, oil gave a nice signal. And again, even better signal in the 2-minute. So that's moving up. Natural gas also gave a signal. Oh, look at that. Oh, I didn't expect that. Look at this. We have 4 minutes to the open. So this was the natural gas trade. I didn't enter, but based off this buy signal here, I thought, look how close we got to being stopped out. I think this was like 1 tick, maybe 2. And again here, I thought for sure this would end up being a losing trade. This is why you need to give your trades room to roam, room to run down a little bit. because this would have ended up being, this is a, if I would have took this trade, this would have been a $600 winner. And if I'd been trailing, I would have got a little bit more out of that because you can see this wick up before it pulled back. So, you know, that would have been, but it would have been scary because we would have went down like 380 bucks, 350, 380, somewhere around there. Just one. Let's see. Yeah, one tick away. $390 down, and then it reversed. So that's interesting. What? Looks like crude strong move here. Gas prices are going to be going up. Gold, big move here. Kind of like when copper did, but it pulled back now. Platinum I haven't been paying much attention to. The bonds, made a new daily high, then pulled back to the SMA. My cat wants to try and get on stream. Russell, approaching its daily high. So we're about 90 seconds until the open. I'm going to go mute for a couple minutes. Well, mute until the open and chew some breakfast. Okay, we are 10 seconds until the open. Let's see what goes on. Got some indecision here. Going red, green, red, green. Kind of like Christmas. Let there be Christmas. Signal on copper. Let's see what it's doing here at the open. Oh, copper's trying to push back up from that pullback. That's interesting. They actually have a buy signal here on. So actually, that sell signal just stopped us out. So this sell signal would not have worked. Back on the indices, pulling back, but nothing major so far. Well, actually, only 10 points, 4 points on the S&P, so nothing astronomical, no astronomical moves yet. Might be a calmer day. Oh, maybe not. There we go. There's some movement. 20 points down on the NASDAQ. Russell's bleeding too, I'm sure. Yep, Russell's bled. Soybean oil. That's just terrible. I hate seeing soybean oil crash. And corn. Oh my god. What are the farmers going to do? Anyway. Oil pulling back.
Bonds, kind of blah. Copper trying to get back up to the high. 30 points down on the NASDAQ. Now 53 points down since the open. And again, if we look at this 2-minute chart, again, this has been a great entry off the 2-minute chart. It went down 30 points. It's pulling back now, but that would have been a great, quick $600 scalp. Kind of got indecision. We did get a buy signal here on copper. It's too close to the open to play. But we can put it here and see what would have happened. Ooh, big pullback now on the NQ. So this signal on the 2-minute chart would have worked. You just wanted to get out quickly. Wow. Holy crap. Look at the wick now in this sucker. This is it's gained back almost all of its losses. And the ES is now back into a green. And there's the NASDAQ in the green as well. But now, wild moves off the open here. Wild moves. This is why I do not play the open. Or very rarely. But it's very lucrative if you can figure out a strategy. I mean, I guess one way would be to set a very tight stop and hope it goes the other way, and kind of like a lottery ticket. But look at this. Look at this moving up now. So NASDAQ opens at 1759, drops all the way down to 1704. So that's 55 points. And it now goes from 1704 all the way up to 779. So that's 75 points. So $1,000 down, $1,500 up per contract. You just need some acids and heart pills to deal with it. And now we're trying back down. The energies are still moving upwards. Gold bounced off the 200 EMA on the 5-minute chart, trying to push back up. I'm going to go in and out here as I eat my eggs. Yeah, I think maybe on Sim, I'm going to try resting orders before they open below the 3rd Bollinger Band. So if I have Ninja Trader up, It's here somewhere. Where's my NASDAQ chart? There's my NASDAQ chart. So, let's go over to NQ. So let's say I rested an order. This is the bands. Say like right here. I gotta be careful I don't get filled. Let me move over to Sim just in case something bad happens. So if I rested an order here to buy, and that would have came down, broke the bands enough that I've been felt sure that this is this is a 99% chance of a bounce with a tight stop in case it wouldn't have been. Then grab that. That might be a good play because these open bounces do sort of respect the bands. Let's go look at the let's look at some prior stuff. So this is still being wild, so we're not going to enter anything right now. Look at some prior days. Yesterday might not be the best day to look at because yesterday was kind of blah because of the holiday. Didn't really even break the bands there. Excuse me. Here. Oh, look at that. Now, I'm not sure, if I had rested an order there, which was still well above the bands, then I would have still continued 20 minutes. So maybe, I don't know if resting an order is the way to do it, or if you just want to try and start watching for it to reach a high and then come back. But it moves so fast, it's kind of hard. But I mean, if I had rested an order, say here at 80, and had a 20-point stop loss, which is a pretty big stop, it wouldn't have stopped me out, and then I would have caught this whole move down, which was almost 80 points. Let's go back. Here, this is the open, broke the bottom band just a bit, and then pulled back. So if I had rested an order right on the bottom band, 63, it would have went down 4 points below that, so definitely nothing to stop me out. And then would have went up from there. I'm sorry. Yeah, up all the way up 32. So that's that's $1,500. Let's go back one more day. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do this on Sim. I'm not gonna risk my gauntlet trying it out. But that's why you have Sim accounts, to try things out. Now here it really didn't work. I mean, it did work on the next kind of, but it really didn't work here. It had never hit the band on the opening candle. And I think you want to cancel it if it doesn't on the opening candle. Let's check one more day real quick. Ooh. See, this one might have been tough because it really broke. It broke it by a lot, but we had tight bands here. So this would have been a little bit tougher because you had the band at about 44 and it went up to 61. Oh well, I mean, if you're willing to 20 take stop loss, but I'm not sure if that would have been set it. We set it like 5 points above the band. The band was at 45, so 50, and it closed at 29. So that would have got you 21 points. But you would have wanted to get out, I think, there quick, because I'm not sure if this went up first or down first. This is another great band break, but that could have been dangerous. So let's go back to the present time and see what it's doing here. Still being weird. Not giving us any indication of what direction it wants to go yet. Copper. Sideways. Russell's giving us direction though. Know this. I can see it also had a wild open at 8:30 or 9:30. Sorry. Where it went up He went up 6 points from open, fell, and fell all the way down. But now, I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful move up. Let's see if that would have even. I don't even think that would have stopped us out. That move down. It actually sent a buy 5 minutes before, which is very unusual. Long position. So it actually would have told me this buy would have told me to get in right at the open, and I would have never been that brave. But let's just play with it because it's fun. I run an 87 tick profit target and a 60 tick stop loss. So yeah, this would not have stopped us out getting in on this candle if we wanted to be brave. And it just would have just now hit profit target. So that would have been a great trade, but I would have never been brave enough. Now, if I had gotten in on this 2-minute buy signal and had been working up toward it, I probably wouldn't have exited. I probably would have just let it go and see what happened and had a heart attack when it did this pullback. So now we're just waiting to see whether or not we get any decent signals to enter anything else. Looks like the market might have decided on a direction here. That would have been a great signal to enter on. And it's interesting that the 5-minute actually sent signals before the 2-minute here. That's unusual. Usually it's the other way around. We're down 33 points on this 5-minute candle. S&P is trying to give me a sell signal as well. I just hesitate to get in when there's huge candles, because huge candles often have a reversal candle behind them. Now this one didn't, of course, but so this buy signal on copper would have stopped us out. So this was one that was good not to follow. This was just, looks like this might be just a odd pullback from a larger downward move. There's our sell signal on copper. Do we want to chance it? It's bopping it a little bit. We got a minute to go on this candle. So, oops. Lost my time. There we go. Looks like we are going to enter this trade, maybe. Wow, big move down here on copper. Hope this isn't too extended. Sell market. 12 seconds. Pulls back. Still downward move. We're in. We're in. Melee pulls back 2 ticks. Oh, Melee pulls back 5 ticks. Ouch. See, big candle down, often reversal candle. Ouch, 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 ouch. So let's see what happens. Gonna chew the rest of my breakfast while we watch this. Okay, so just trying to give back my profits for the day here. Let's see what we do. We're down 8 ticks. Yep, down 10 ticks. What's gold doing? Gold's also showing strength. So is platinum. So this is a bad sign. All the metals are heading upwards. Yep, we're now 2 ticks from my stop. But it's trying. Now it's come back. Come on. Okay, there's our stop. So this ended up being a bad trade. Back to being down $19.25 on the day. So basically flat. This is where, you don't want to get frustrated, but it gets a little bit hard. I've showed you these stats, how many wins and stuff up to now, and then, although, I mean, honestly, it has, based on the signals it's been sending, it had failed twice in a row now, so maybe that would have been an indication that this wouldn't have been a good trade banner anyway. I don't know. Just a bit frustrating, but you can't let it affect your trading. Crude's continuing to move up after a little bit of a pullback. It's now at its new high of the day. You can see those white lines I have up here. Those are yesterday's resistance points. Some people are predicting crude's going to go to 100. Not today. That would be something if it did. But they're predicting crude's going to go to 100 by the end of the year. Definitely a strong move up on crude. NASDAQ came down 43 points on this candle here. Then another 91 to 57. Another 34 points. So about 77 points before reversing. Big reversal also off a band break on the S&P. We can get rid of this trend line now. So both of these, we look at all these sell signals here. Then I decided to play with copper. All these sell signals, this would have got me 42 points of profit. This one would have got me 43 points. This one would have got me 12 points on the NASDAQ, on the ES, and there. Now we have a buy signal. So now we're reversing totally. And this is if you look at the 5-minute, this is a great reversal candle. So it made a great indication that this was coming. Same here on the NASDAQ. So if you're just playing these charts, this is why that I say people that just stick to one or two items, assets, do have an advantage, because you could have seen this form, and as long as it registered in your mind that this was a reversal candle, you could have got in. Now, where would you have gotten in? Because it does reverse a little bit here. You see the wicks. So the best place to get in would have been once it got above the open of this candle. Which still would have given you, 20 to 30 ticks upwards on the NASDAQ. Not ticks, points, sorry. Do that a lot. So, once it clears where that last candle opened, that reversal candle, have a great entry point. And honestly, your stop, if you don't want to set a specific profit target, you could have set it right there at the SMA line. That's 11 points on the S&P. So that's $550. And that would have been a great trade. So copper's still screaming at me here. Yeah, I'm curious to see. Let's go down to a 1-minute chart just to see whether or not there's any entries that would have been better based on the 1-minute chart. This was a win, so it doesn't really matter. This was the loss. Here's the 1-minute chart. So this is kind of interesting. This sent a sell signal here. Let's move that. Boom, 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 boom. That still would have stopped out, so that doesn't really matter. You can't constantly second guess your trading. This also would have stopped out. But it's okay to look at other perspectives. Now this sent a sell signal here, and that would have been a good one. But of course, this would have been a stop at as well. But here's this buy signal that we have not yet seen on the 2-minute. I had a big pullback. So let's go back to our 2-minute chart. Definitely, market really hasn't decided which direction it wants to go. At least on the indexes. You have a push up, a push up, a push up, a push up. But after a major push down, you really want to see at this point it get back above where it opens, New York Open, which is basically the high of the day. For those of you tuning in, thank you for joining me. You're welcome to say hi in the chat and ask any questions. Oh, and Waffy Wheel. I apologize that I missed your subscription an hour ago. If you're still here, thank you very much. I appreciate that on Twitch. Hi, Randy. Thank you. Uh, I try not to. If I have too much stuff on my charts, I go a little nuts. Even these yellow lines make me a little nuts at times. So as soon as the line isn't needed anymore, I get rid of it. But yeah, I don't understand how people have like 10 moving averages and a couple bands and trend lines and everything all over their charts. I'm like, how do you even see the candles? I don't think I've seen you before, Rand Wolf. Welcome, if this is your first time. Um, do you trade futures, or are you actively trading in a simulator, trading in an evaluation to get funded? It's interesting though that Russell's just destroying the top band each time. Now, I mean, these have been decent reversal plays, but it's unusual to see 5 straight. Okay, that's cool. I mean, that's obviously you don't need to be interested in funding. I just curious of what my audience is. So sorry, I've got distracted here for a second. So the Nasdaq's trying to push down. Market's still not giving us direction. Did you have you taken any trades today, Rand Wolf? What time do you normally trade? This time of day? Do you trade the open? Nothing really tickling my fancy here. This is interesting though. Crude. Yeah, I marked off these resistance areas from yesterday, and crude came up and hit that second resistance area, and immediately came back. So 8160 looks like the important point. We'll get rid of this line here. Oops. This line here. Stop moving. Thank you. We'll consider this the important area. 81, 81, 60, 80, 80, 60, 80, 61, somewhere around there, right in that area. So that's where it reversed there, and you can see back here, kind of That's yesterday. Wait, no, the yeah, it hit this high here after it's come down. It came down from its high of the day, reversed, came back up. This is where it exhausted and then continued downward. So this seems to be an important area. And we'll continue to see whether or not, we saw this come up, pull back a little bit, come up. Now we're seeing another pullback. We'll see whether or not this continues upwards. Excuse me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. It really has. We had the nice rise up throughout the overnight session, or European session, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, sorry, we it's been kind of rangy since, and now it's just bipolar, down, up, down, left, right. It's like a old cheat code for Nintendo. Copper, 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 not doing anything. Bonds, bonds are. Bonds have made a decent move upwards. Big daily range. Well, I shouldn't say big, but I mean, nice daily range on the bonds. The UB, 2 points, over 2 points, so over $2,000. Looking for one more good trade. Uh, quiet space. Not sure. Well, gold. Gold's made a new high of the day. You know, it's big ups, pull back, big ups. Platinum as well. Things definitely have slowed down. So if we don't see anything interesting here in the next say by 10:30 Eastern, about 20 minutes from now, I'll wrap up the stream. So right now I'm just struggling to find anything worth grabbing. Oh God. Wow. These candles, I mean, this is a downward momentum on the ES and the Nasdaq, but it's just ugly looking to get there. I ain't dealing with those pullbacks. Look at that. This is the Nasdaq. Red, green, red, green, red. Now we're trying for green again. Almost all the same size candles. It's barcoding on a macro level. Now we do have a break of the SMA on copper. It's basically trended downward since it hit that high. That high earlier when I got that nice win that I ended up giving back. Maybe I should have gotten soybean oil. Hey, have a good day, Randwolf. Thanks for joining. Sorry it wasn't more entertaining. Just not a lot going on right now. So now I always talk about getting, what was that alert? I don't know. This is where it told me to get in before. So we're actually below that point now on this, from this sell signal. So this could have been a good entry here. I wasn't paying enough attention. But I could have rested an order here, and we'll see what would have happened. Let's go on the sim account. Let's take an order now. Oh, wrong thing. Just on sim. Now, gotta remember we're already like this candle opened at exactly 37, 4.37. We got it at 43645. So we're already 11 ticks into what should have been this entry. Or actually, we got in with a break of the white line. So about make that about 6 ticks. So we'll see whether or not this would have been a profitable way to enter. You know, I talk about getting once if something pulls back, waiting until you get another entry below that original entry if it comes back down. So let's see what this does. See if I'm going to be upset with myself for not taking the trade in actuality.